Explain to me your environmental devastation argument, please.
My environmental devastation argument talks about how, like, we just we solve all these problems with other strategies, and now we need to, and it's always destroying, and it's destroying our ecosystem, and now we need to change.
How does it link to aliens?
It links to aliens because if aliens come, we can actually forget about that. We can actually improve our ecosystem and make it better because the aliens might add to our natural resources.
Alright, now for global poverty, how do aliens in your plan solve for global poverty?
Aliens solve for global poverty because
aliens actually solve for global poverty because they're actually, if we kept able to contact with aliens and actually understand them and agree with them, they actually will help us bring poverty up, and we're actually going to prevent structural violence and less people dying.
How does the process of simplification threaten to destroy nature as a humanity?
Process of simplification, like, let's say, like, our whole system is just based on cars. Like, we need to change our system now. Like, we need to change our system. Like, we need to figure out, like, this can't be only based on cars. It has to be based on something else.
Can you go more into detail about that?
It's like, what do you mean cars? How does that like involve?
Like, the United States only involves in oil right now, and like in the past, like it only like
how
cared
is
about.
that even becoming simplified?
Huh?
How is simple?
How is our planet even becoming simplified?
That plan is becoming simplified because it's so simple. All our power and energy is based on cars.
Alright.
Take it from my village on a hot summer day, as the Congos continue to beat, bong bong bang. Cries arose while our flame starts again, as the Congos continue to beat, bong bong bang. Words from the ocean sting my cuts, swords poking me to continue on, and the thing that rises in my air takes the flesh to a amount I cannot bear. Hearing the Congos play, but bang bang bang. Watching as my family are put on chains, watching as my family are whipped to death, watching as my people are killed instantly. Gripped to a boat and swayed away, tears sting my eyes as I'm labored as much light, taking me to a whole new world, not even my country's sight, discerning the truth of another, but the noise that lasts is the beat of the Congos, playing but bang bang bang. Hours later I'm knocked out, led to a place so distant from home, watching as darkest skin tones remind, fight to live, fight to breathe, fight to have a chance for another survival. They work and work, getting whipped as if too slow, spilled in my eyes I'm pushed along, in the house like a distant song, and what remains in my head in the Congos are the songs but bang bang bang. Screening the view I look around, stirring up the king's crown, so shiny and pretty and different from my own, as a princess, as a vile and unstrung. A gun is held to my head, taking me to start cleaning the beds. I look in awe, not knowing this world, but do what I'm told to seek the gold of another treasure. For days and weeks, my people are pushed to the brink, being forced to harvest sugar along the other slaves, Indian, Jamaican, Chinese that were all forced, brought in losing their family and hope. Bloodshed on the floor, vomit all over this time. I can't take it no more. We're halfway to death, my eyes closing, about to take my last breath. So the last thing I hear from a distant fear is the crowd of Congos playing the bang bang bang. This is the secret story of colonization that people do not speak about openly. This is what happens when nations choose to believe the promises of riches and treasures by exploring and developing the unknown. Colonialism wears many masks, and this year's resolution was a very deceptive one, the allure of space exploration. You guys just dress colonization as a big smiley face, but it's not. What it has done is destroyed lives, destroyed family, destroyed my history, destroyed my other people's history. In those textbooks, there was no history of my history wherever. All there is Columbus and how his great findings was. But what about they? They don't talk about the natives. They don't talk about what their opinion of what happened was. The idea of colonization here is that we have tomorrow and then in the extraterrestrial life, we are so selfish at home that we'll probably kill them, murder them, control them. It's the same thing with slavery. You guys did that to my dark-skinned American ancestors. And just like that, a new story was told to the American people. The Somalis are striking, Panama, the moon, Mars. The result of each of these journeys has always been the exploration of whatever is found at the end of the rainbow, the great unknown. The colonial mindset leads to a bloodbath, exploration, and plundering. We need to get today's resolution by acknowledging our colonial past and working to explore the mindset that leads to death and destruction. Our advocacy is called for revolution. Revolution in the way we think, act, and operate. We are the Occupy Wall Street of the debate community. Castle 1961. During the course of the history of humanity, the causes of war have been exploration and plunder. Ever since man has been aware of historical evolution, all wars have been caused by these two reasons. In order to understand who is guilty of war and who is fighting for peace, one must understand perfectly well. Those who support war, those guilty of war have always been the explorators. Those who seek to weave the wealth and natural resources of other nations of their own people. Thus, exploration and plunder have been caused people with oceans of blood. Threat of war in the world today, as always in the course of history, comes from those who want to maintain the right to plunder and exploration. The world is now closer than ever to opportunity or the moment when war could be addicted forever. The world is also closer than ever to the moment when exploration and hunger could be addicted from humanity. The world is facing these two prospects, and yet the world is being threatened by war. Who is guilty of war? Who is threatening war? Who is dealing with war? Who threatens humanity with the curse? Why must the colonists and imperialists threaten war and resort to war? They use the danger and threat of war for several reasons. First of all, because they represent a world which is dying out, and the world of destiny and social system which outdated modes of life due to disappear. Scanning the heavens for a solution. The problem is clear when we consider the fact that space belongs to no one, not even the United States, not even to me if I call this so. It is the common heritage of humankind. Just as I can go out and look at the stars, find that one bright spot that I feel no one knows about, so pretty, so nice, another person somewhere on the other side of the world can be looking at the same star, thinking they own it as well, thinking my star is the pretty one. Space is infinite, it is vast, but it belongs to no one person. It is the common heritage of us all. When we begin thinking that the unknown is something we can explore, conquer, and develop, we fall into the same dangerous trap that led to my country's exploration and 300 years of slavery. So today, when we actually negate today's resolution about the United States federal government to substantially increase the development and or expression of space beyond the Earth's mesosphere, we actually negate the resolution to stories that we brought you today because the stories of the Earth, because the stories of my people. Jones 99. Critical movements and intellectuals persuaded the Reagan government to adopt the rhetoric and substance of common security in its eternity. It is clear that it did at least have a substantial impact on changing U.S. behavior. The hope is that enough to shift the parameters of debate in a potentially progressive direction. Critical intellectuals can be slightly engaged and play a role, a significant one at that, in making the world a better and a safer place. Second, it points out to a potential future. Third, it also underlines the role of ideas in the evolution of society. That critical theorists can still play the role of organic, intellectual, and that organic relationship need to confine itself in a single class. It can involve alignment with different combinations of social movements that compete on the issue or a series of issues pertinent to the struggle of emancipation. Critical intellectuals are always try to, in order to remain an organic part of the ongoing experience in society of the poor, the disadvantaged, the voiceless, the unrepresented, and powerless.
What does colonization have to do with the search for extraterrestrial life?
Well, colonization has a lot to do with the extraterrestrial life because what y'all did in the past to my people, other people's people, and the history, y'all took us from our home country, or let me say, y'all came to our area, which y'all will probably be doing to Mars because that's not ours, and whoever's living on it, they own it. I'm saying they own it. Y'all will probably treat them as dogs. For real, y'all kill them. Y'all probably murder them. If they don't do what you want, they're gone in an instant. And when we go to Mars, what makes you think it's not going to be the same thing? When people, what if they don't want to listen to you guys? What if they want to have their own type of structure? You guys just going to, well, as the United States, we're so selfish enough to just be doing those type of stuff.
Why did your plan solve the problem of war and death? Why does your plan solve the problem of war and death? Oh! Why should you win and we lose when we talk about technology and how extraterrestrial life can help us and improve our planet and improve diseases?
We should win because you guys do it in a different mindset that we do. We do it in a mindset in which we solve it better. You guys are going to enslave these people. As humans, we have never been known to come in peace to help other races. We've never been known to be very nice. And the idea that we're just going to go to these people and be nice and they're going to come to us and be nice is very naive of you to think like that.
What's the first few things?
How do you know that's gonna happen. Didn't the U.S. change over the years?
But have you seen what has been happening?
That was in the past.
The history repeats itself always.
What was the, when you think of genocide and that type of stuff, what's the first few things that pop up in your mind?
Oh gosh.
Okay, when I think of genocide, I think of thousands of people dying.
I think of murder.
I'm going to do an overview, I'm going to do a permutation, then I'm going to go on to a line by line. First, overview. Extend Walton Duval. Aliens denied by the government. We as the affirmative team say we should look out of ourselves and look at another point of view. We are critical thinkers that think that's what is best. Extend Spine in 2000. So many people die because of structural violence every day. The negative advocacy thinks we should do nothing and think we should just stay on earth while people die every day. The negative advocacy says that they don't like genocide and that's what happened in the past, but they don't want the genocide that is happening now. Innocent lives are being taken away. We as the affirmative say we need to start making some changes. Extend Men to 1996. Imagine a disease deadlier than HIV, AIDS, the Ebola outbreak, even the flu epidemic. This is the tip of the iceberg. Having airborne diseases that could come from anywhere is bad. If you have an open cut and just leave it open, an airborne disease might get in there anytime. If there's no cure, it's going to be a chain reaction. I have the deadly disease, I then spread it to other people. People are going to start dying because of that. That means instead of being the fourth largest planet with terrestrial life, we will be the planet that was the planet. Going on to Bookchin, 1987. We declare war on our own planet. We are eradicating all the life we have in addition to destroying our ecosystem. When a damage like that happens, it's going to be game over. We are protecting Earth. We are looking outside of just the U.S. and everything else. We are looking at critical thinkers of making some changes now. BOMA 10. If we contact ED life, we will solve for science, innovation, hunger, poverty, and diseases. Aliens will help our civilization. We will help STEM. STEM is something that is also with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are stuff that are in especially high school, like in high schools. We take this exam to get into those high schools. We need to get into those. Everybody wants to get into those high schools. Now I'm going to go on to my permutation. The after does both. We should say the after does both decolonize our minds, but yet go up and look and search for ET lab. The neg has no links to our planet. Oh, they don't say why they link to our planet about ET lab. All they talk about is genocide and say that's going to happen with ET. We agree with the neg idea of being an organic intellectual and the alpha being a critical intellectual. We should talk about our history and also look outside of ourselves than another point of view. Doing this allows us, if we find it, we will be able to let them know we come in peace. We carry no weapons. The neg advocacy is good, but our plan is also good. Perm leads us to sex, and we will help ourselves from being a wasteland. Onto my line by line. You care about genocide of your people that haven't happened in the past, about things that have happened in the past. Oh, so who's dying? My people have died, your people have died. But what about the people who have died? A 14-year-old boy named Ty had died on the school campus last year. He had died because of gang-related things. What about Ty that has been shot? He's been shot because he was a blood. What about that structural violence that is going to happen? Structural violence happens every day. Gangs, bloods, crip, poverty. Global poverty, also structural violence. Something that will kill us every day. What about that amount of people that have died? What about Ty? What about, you asked about your people. What about the people that have no home, no house, no nothing to eat? On to my next line. I see the debate as an organic intellectual and a critical intellectual butting heads. Unlike organic intellectual who think their stories are something they need to bring into debate and are only selfish about their people dying in the past and about colonization. What about people who have died before that? Ty, as I'm saying again, a 14-year-old boy named Ty had died on the school premises. That's the structural violence that had happened. He died because he was a blood. A crip shot him right across from the street. Right across the street. We critical intellectuals believe we need to look outside of ourselves and care about what's going on, not to be selfish and only think that our history is the only thing that matters. Other people's history matters too. So, The organic intellectuals just want to bring their history and saying, oh, this matters, and say, oh, as an organic intellectual, we need to bring our personal stories into debate about their people being colonized and how that genocide has happened. We outweigh them with genocide. Our impacts outweighs their genocide. They always say about genocide and that type of stuff that's going on now. But our impacts outweigh that. We solve for genocide that's going to happen now with our structural final global poverty case advantage. We solve for that. If the organic intellectuals think just bringing their stories in and also talking about their past of colonization and people being enslaved is more important than stopping the genocide that happened in their past and stopping it from happening now, so to make a history happen in the future, this is going to lead into a better success for the world and not be a wasteland. I'm now open for this. I'm now present this evidence, and I'm now open for cross-examination.
Can you please explain to me a structural violence argument?
Our structural violence argument is saying that it's the structural things that happen in our everyday environment, stuff that happen. People going to bed hungry, people not having.
Kobe, so you're basing all these things that you're gonna solve for off of aliens and when they come here, right? Am I right? Yes or no? It's a yes or no.
Repeat that question.
Okay, so you're basing everything that you're going to solve off of the fact that when aliens come here, they're going to solve for these things. They're going to help us solve for these things.
Yes, they'll actually help us solve for these things because.
Okay, so the question is, I didn't ask your explanation. Yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nicolette.
Okay. You talking about all this structural violence, but isn't the United States the cause of this? So what is your point?
Well, what you're trying to say is the U.S. caused this. The U.S. Didn't cause this. So many things have happened that have literally screwed us up. 9/11 happened. Our economy was literally screwed up.
But wasn't that the United States supposed to do that with the 9/11 thing? Like what?
Last time I recall, Osama bin Laden was the one who crashed the Twin Towers.
Yes, but the U.S. I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
All right. So, you have another question? I don't have another question.
You said on Boma 10, I think you said something about how extraterrestrial will help our life. How would it? How do you know they will?
If there's like I'm gonna explain my hunger, poverty, and diseases.
No, I'm just asking. How will they?
They will help because if there's if I have a disease and it's not even curable, and
how do you know they will? Do you have any evidence to provide that?
Anyway. Can you please explain to me your permutation? How you're gonna perm our plants? Explain to me how you're gonna perm our plants.
We're gonna perm your plan because as a critical intellectual and as your organic intellectual, we're gonna go up and also agree with you.
What is a critical intellectual?
How will genocide solve anything?
Genocide, well,
what's a
genocide? Wait, what are you trying to say? Genocide will solve? What's your question? What is your question? You said genocide solves. Genocide solves.
What's a critical intellectual?
A critical intellectual is somebody that looks outside of themselves and not just think about, oh, I'm going to only think about myself. They actually look outside and say...
What is an organic intellectual?
An organic intellectual is somebody like you who worries about bringing their personal story into debate and only cares about doing that and also says, I'm only want to bring my personal story into debate and don't care about anything else.
No further questions. Is everybody ready? Alright, okay. Here's my roadmap. I'm going to be doing my history, -2AC overview, and I'm going to do line by line. Alright. My history. In 1494, Christopher Columbus came ashore in Discovery Bay. This was a moment that changed the very life of the citizens of my home country, Jamaica. Spain had set out on an mission to explore the great unknown, the frontier India. And while we have all heard the story of in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, we rarely hear the story of in 1494, Columbus came to the Jamaican shore. European colonialism has hidden its motives in exploration and development of the unknown. For the next few hundred years, Europeans would fight over our country's abundant sugar resources, creating slaves out of an entire group of people. Our people were forced to harvest this sugar alongside Chinese and Indian slaves that were brought in to help us export more sugar because we were not working hard enough. This is the secret story of colonialism that people do not speak about openly. This is what happens when nations choose to believe that the promises of riches and treasures by exploring and developing by the unknown. Colonialism wears many masks, and this year's resolution wears a very deceptive one, the allure of space exploration. Next, my overview. Alright. Extend my Castro 1961 evidence, which says that the cause of war has most times been exploitation and plunder, which leads me to believe through the theory that history repeats itself the majority of the time, like 99% of the times. We have humans, instead of asking aliens for help with problems we can't solve, we will most likely enslave them for wealth and greed, which my evidence says has always been the cause of war. Just as they enslaved the people of Jamaica and Panama, the evidence, it's all right here, which leads me to offer a counterplan. The United States federal government... Wait, can I do that? Okay, the United States federal government should resume searching for extraterrestrials through an organic intellectualist point of view. The affirmative claims that their plan will solve for poverty, diseases, and structural violence, and a misuse of our earth. But the affirmative judge care nothing about anything about those things. The policymakers, the exploiters, will find a way to exploit this new form of life, whether it be technology or resources. Their perm fails on all levels. Think about it. If they try and perm, the people who are the policymakers, the senators, they will rise up again. They are the wealthy. They are the 1% that controls our country. They will rise. They are the people who exploit our race every day. They will find a way to sleep up through the cracks to destroy whatever the affirmative can offer.
They're not looking outside of the alien.
Alright. Extend my Jones 99 evidence. We concede with the affirmative that we need to search for extraterrestrial life, but with that organic mindset in debate, because we will bring our past experiences in to make a better decision. That is what a critical thinkers lack. They lack the experiences they need to make better informed decisions. They're intellectuals, but they can't connect these issues to their life. This will be most definitely lead to the genocide of an entire race of aliens. Also, the affirmative brings up arguments like AIDS. They say that there are diseases out there that we can't solve and that we need the aliens for this. But if they really look back into history, AIDS was created because of human ignorance. And because they were back then they were trying to solve for other problems. And because of their ignorance, they created this disease. So the very people who are trying to solve this problem now are the same people that created it 20 years ago. It's the past, and it will repeat itself. Okay, extend my partner's cross-X. Okay, so what if we start blasting our signals everywhere, advertising our presence to aliens, to assume that the alien civilization will be friendly and welcome us with open arms? Seems grossly naive. If there's one thing we have learned from our own evolution, though we might have the best of intentions, we've rarely come in peace. We as humans, right here on our planet, the people who need help, are the people that never come in peace, ironically. You guys solve for STEM and all these things. The politicians, the people who run the country, the world leaders, they will exploit this. The rich people, the wealthy, the 1%, the same people that keep you down, the same people that keep your history out of the textbooks. Alright, moving on to my line by line. Okay, they say that extraterrestrials have been hidden in secrecy. But it is the critical intellectuals, the same people that they support and are trying to base their mindset off of, who are hiding these things, who don't want to talk about aliens. Everybody knows about aliens, but these same people, they come to us and say, identify flying objects because it's not important. It doesn't need to be known. Who cares? Alright. They said that why can't they perm and decolonize their mind and go into space? But originally, they come from the mindset in which is embedded so deeply in their head that no matter what you do, like right now, for example, we have a president trying to solve problems, but they have such a mindset that's so strong of a belief that they won't pass anything that he wants because they're so against it. Alright, because they're so against it, it's so embedded in it. They've been raised like that. That's how they were born. Alright, okay. They say that we don't explain how we link. Isn't it obvious through my partner speech and my speech how we link? We're saying that space it's ours. It belongs to everyone. It does not belong to any one person. And through your mindset, the critical intellectual's mindset, you will enslave those people. You will beat them. The results are here. Panama, Jamaica. Please vote negative.
Alright.
Can you explain your new counterplan?
My new counterplan. What I'm saying is that your critical intellectual mindset, I don't want that in debate. I don't want that period anymore. I want the organic mindset. Your partner says it's selfish. I say it's a way of gaining experience. I say it's a way of looking into society in a better way.
So explain how you're going to be able to look outside of yourselves and look at the aliens' point of view.
Because you don't understand. You don't understand what an organic intellectual. That's the heart of your problem.
So explain the organic intellectual.
Okay, it's a person who uses their experiences, brings it to debate, so that they can better understand stuff, so they can solve stuff. It's those type of people like Martin Luther King, the same people that help you get out of civil rights. We saw for genocide. Okay,
how do you solve for genocide?
Alright, we saw for genocide because we keep racists or people from being enslaved and beaten, like in Jamaica and Panama, which we reference their experiences. We're not saying that we just want to focus on that, okay? We prevent that. We want to stay away from that. We want to stay clear. We need intellectuals who won't look out and be like, I want to enslave you.
So what's your organic or mindset? Explain how you're going to be helping global poverty and stopping structural violence.
I saw for everything in your plan. Everything. You know why? Because
I said ask for global poverty.
For global poverty? I saw for global poverty. Because look, organic intellectuals, we're no longer exploiting. The exploiters are you. The same people, the 1% of the population who own the wealth. Bill Gates, Oprah, all these people who have this billions of dollars, they're just sitting on it. Mayor Michael Bloomberg, they're all right here.
So explain how you're gonna stop diseases, because I may get sick and have no cure for it, then spread it to all of you, and then you all die.
Obviously, you have not been flowing, Judge. Clearly, you have not been. Clearly, if you have not been listening to my speech, because
I said, how are you going to solve for diseases?
Because, look, I said I would do the same. I agree with you with the aliens, but I don't want to enslave the aliens. We're still getting the alien tech. We don't want your stupid critical mindset.
So explain how you're going to be able to help us, like, with environmental devastation, ecosystem, trees being cut down, cars giving off
Don't you
gas.
understand that it's your critical mindset, those same people who want to cut down those trees, the wood companies, those rich people, again, I come back to that. It's the organic intellectuals. They're thinking about everyone. They're using their past experiences so that we can have a better future. Don't you go to KIP, Knowledge Power Program?
Yeah, I just want to know, you go to KIP too, right? But yet a 14-year-old boy named Ty had died right across the corner of the street.
Okay, structure of violence. Okay, Martin Luther King, he was not... Okay, that's structural violence. Yes, it is, Kobe. All right, Martin Luther King, he was non-violent. That's what I'm saying. We need more activists like that to stop those things. Thank you, and please get out of my face.